Hey everybody, Derek here with another Monday motivational message. If you know me, or if you've heard me speak at all, it probably didn't take too long before I said the words, anything is possible. Well, for one thing, it's the slogan for Ironman Triathlon. But it means more than that. For me, it's a personal and powerful statement that reflects where I've been and what it took for me to get to where I am now. I usually follow up anything is possible with, I'm living proof. What I don't say as often, probably not often enough, is that unless you match those dreams with hard work, it's just not going to happen. Back when I was in heart failure and waiting for a transplant, I was talking with my doctor, and she told me that transplantation was the closest thing that she had for a cure for what I had, and that heart transplantation was the closest thing that medical science had to a miracle. And while I firmly believe that she was absolutely right, it really only tells half the story. Doctors can take somebody else's heart and put it in your body, but it still takes the recipient to put in effort. Transplant at its best is only a chance at life. For people waiting on the transplant list, the journey back to health is a doorway, and that door to the doorway is quickly closing until all you can see is a sliver of light from the other side. Now, transplantation can hold that door open for a while, but it's up to the recipient to wedge their foot into that door and then wedge their elbow and wedge it open a little further. And then they've got to get down and put their shoulder into it and push with so much force that at some point that door just blows off of its hinges. It's not easy to do. In fact, it's probably one of the hardest things in the world to do. There are so many things that a transplant recipient has to manage once they receive their organ. You've got to manage your medications. You've got to manage your diet. You've got to manage your exercise. You've got to manage your state of mind. You've got to manage your overall health. You know, fear of failure is never too far from the top of your mind as well. And to make matters worse, the surgery that got you that organ is probably the equivalent of being hit by a Mack truck. To say that it's a stressful experience is probably the understatement of the century. People often use the phrase, can't see the forest for the trees, when they're talking about the fact that you're probably working so much on the details of a job that you can't see the big picture. Well, I've always found that if you map out your goal before you start working ahead of time, then you can probably focus more on the work at hand and allow yourself to focus on the trees. Big pictures can be too big sometimes. And sometimes they're so big that they can just freeze you in your tracks. Allow yourself to focus on the work and do it. You can hate the trees if you like. The trees don't care. Your goals don't care. The only person that these things matter to is you. The trees are the hard work, but I promise you that you'll love how you feel because you did that work. Focus on the work, knowing that it's getting you closer to your goal. Hard work is what stands in the way of us achieving our goals. The good thing is that almost everybody has to put in the effort to get to that same goal. Now, sure, some people might start out ahead of you, and some people might start out behind you. But at some point, everybody has to put in the effort. How much effort are you willing to put in to get to where you want to be? Success is achieved by pushing forward and continuing to make improvements when everybody else is ready to give up. This applies to work goals, career goals, personal life goals, weight loss goals, fitness goals, you name it. If you want something, ask yourself, how much do you want it? Ask yourself how much you're willing to put in as far as effort to make yourself successful, and then do that work. If you keep it up, then I promise you, anything is possible. You know, if you like these Monday motivational messages, please like Recycled Man Speaks on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. If you want to know more about me, check me out on recycledmanspeaks.com. Have a great week, everybody, and thanks for everything.